reflecting ever so briefly that today represents the 10th time that Neshaminy High School has held this ceremony. To my knowledge, we are still the only high school in Pennsylvania to hold such a ceremony. It's something that we're proud of, and it's something that we hope to continue to do year after year. Each year, I'm impressed by the commitment and sacrifice made by those that are willing to serve our country. In a few short weeks, they're going to be leaving Neshaminy High School. They'll be leaving as graduates, and less than a year from now, they will be part of the greatest military in the world. I had a chance to speak to most of these individuals, and I was asking primarily about their motivation to enlist. Their words were different, but the themes were all the same. There was patriotism in their words. There was talk of leadership. There was talk of opportunity, and quite frankly, there was talk of some assistance of paying for college. All very impressive individuals, certainly made me proud knowing that perhaps Neshaminy High School played a small part in their development. Whether you watch the news or log onto a computer, it's clear that we live in a very dangerous world. It's very reassuring that Neshaminy High School students will be playing a role to help keep our nation safe. Over the past 10 years, dozens of administrators, teachers, counselors, and coaches attended an educator's workshop on Parris Island. All of us had the opportunity to witness firsthand what these folks will be going through in the weeks, months, and years ahead. We all realize it was just the tip of the iceberg. It was a small piece of what they'll be doing, but it certainly gave us a deeper understanding of what's in store for the recruits. Today's ceremony, it's simple. It's our school's way, it's our community's way of saying thank you as they are about to embark on a journey of hard work, sacrifice, teamwork, concepts of working to a greater good and giving back to the community. You'll play a role in keeping our nation safe, and this is an awesome responsibility. Again, I speak for all the administration at Neshaminy High School and the Neshaminy School District. Hopefully we played a role in preparing you for what lies ahead. In closing, let me be the first to say congratulations and thank you for your decision to serve. May God bless you and guide you in the days, months, and years ahead. Next, I'd like to introduce someone who has been in attendance at all 10 ceremonies. We're privileged that Mr. Frank Ferry, our state representative and Neshaminy graduate, is here to join us. Additionally, several members of the United States of our government have been here, and Frank will be introducing all these folks and with a few words to say. Mr. Ferry, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mags. I'm joined up here by my colleague Tina Davis, who represents part of Middletown, Humeville, and Pendel. Peter, who is representing Congressman Fitzpatrick, and Nick, who is here on behalf of Senator Tomlinson. First, I'd like to begin by saying it's always great to be back in the halls of Neshaminy, although the halls are much different than when I went here 29 years ago. But this ceremony is probably the most important that I come back to this district for. To the young men and women to my right, congratulations. You've made a very profound and important choice in life. When I graduated, the world was a much different place, and I think it's great that Neshaminy takes the time to honor you for making the choice to serve our country. To mom and dad and all the family members out here, your siblings, thank you for raising these 5 great young stewards of our community who are soon to become stewards of our country. As I mentioned, the world's a much different place. You know what you're signing up for. I was at a 5K run that was in recognition of a young man who had committed to the Army and unfortunately was killed in a motor vehicle accident. His family has a scholarship fund in his name. And at that run, I literally ran into a young woman who literally I recognized at this ceremony 2 years earlier, and she had literally just come back from a tour of the Middle East. She came up to me, I immediately recognized her face, and we had a nice conversation, and it was nice to see that she was back stateside. But she has continued the legacy of the Armed Forces services by Neshaminy graduates, and you are the next wing to do that. So I thank you for that. At your place setting, you have a recognition from the PA House of Representatives, a recognition from Senator Tomlinson in the State Senate, and probably most importantly, a flag that Congressman Fitzpatrick had flown over the United States Capitol in honor of your choice to commit to the military. So I thank you for what you're doing, and just like the young lady that I saw at the run a few weeks ago, I look forward to seeing you back in our community in the not too distant future. So thank you for serving.
It's an honor for me to be here, and I want to thank, first of all, the parents, because I am a parent of 3 college kids, and it's a very difficult thing to do to raise kids that can make a decision like this that affects the rest of their life. And to you guys, it's awesome that you already know what you want to do, because you have so much technology and social media coming at you, and what college to go to or where should I go to. So it takes a certain kind of person to be able to make such a major decision, and it takes discipline and, frankly, a lot of courage. And I honor all of you for doing this, and thank you for having me here. And I do want to say that Neshaminy, I want to answer your, hopefully you definitely had, with all the teachers, an effect on these children's lives. Thank you. You're not children, sorry.
And now let's meet our guests of honor. We have representatives from the United States Army and the United States Air Force, if they would come up and join us for the presentation of certificates. Mr. Staub, if you'd be kind enough to join me. You're in order. Joining us from the United States Air Force is Sergeant Cross, and the first individual we would like to introduce will be entering the United States Air Force. Kobe Wilcox, please come over. Kobe Wilcox. Woo! Sergeant Hoy is here from the United States Army. Next 2 individuals will be enlisting in the Army. First, Sean Jackson. Sean. Next individual entering the United States Army, Anthony Mamie. The next individual entering the United States Army Reserve, Zachary Kumstead. And finally, and certainly not the least, entering the United States Military Academy, please welcome Ida Hopkins. Yeah, if we could have one round of applause for all of them. I have a few introductions I'd like to make. We have a lot of guests that took time out of their day to be here, and I'm hoping I don't miss any, but from District Central Office, 3 individuals are here that I'd like to introduce. Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Joe Jones. Director of Administration, Mr. Paul Meehan. I think I saw him. And a gentleman that helped us get this off the ground 10 years ago, our former principal and now Director of Secondary Education, Dr. McGee. Moving along to some other guests, I know some of them are here, and I see them throughout, but I would like to mention all of them. Service is nothing new to Neshaminy High School, and we have several faculty members and staff members that have served. From the U.S. Air Force, 3 gentlemen have served. Mr. Glenn McKee, Craig Schneider, and Eric Steyer. If you're here, please stand. They're not. The United States Army, 2 gentlemen served, Mark Petrucci and James Murray. One gentleman served in the United States Marine, Mr. Brian Bluette. And doing a dual role of representing Central Office and the United States Navy, and he is with us, standing in the back, Mr. Bob Baffa. This year we have something different. I was approached by an individual, asked if we can add something to the ceremony, and as soon as the idea came by me, I immediately said yes. We have with us Steve Spong. Steve and his wife Sandy is a teacher here at Neshaminy High School. Steve himself is a graduate Neshaminy High School class of 1987. He served 20 years in the military. He is a Master Sergeant in the Delaware Air National Guard Security Forces. He was deployed from September of 2017 to May of 2018. He has a presentation he would like to make to building principal, Mr. Ryan Staub. Mr. Spong, can you please come forward?
It's tough. Yes, graduate in 1987. Ladies and gentlemen, for you, service is going to be what you make of it. I had a great run. I still have a couple more years in me, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I just wish I would have started sooner. But as deployed, it's very meaningful for our servicemen and women that are deployed that we get the care packages and support from back home. And Sandy Spong is a advisor for the Change It Up group, Change It Up Club, I believe it is. And they had solicited and gathered a whole bunch of items for us. I think it came out to be like 120 pounds of items that they sent to me and my troops overseas. And I wanted to thank them as well as Neshaminy High School for having those types of organizations. And I had a flag flown while I was over there with a certificate. And the certificate reads, this is certified that on 9 February 2018, the 968th Air Expeditionary Airborne Air Control Squadron flew this American flag through hostile skies over Iraq and Syria for Operation Inherent Resolve combat mission on tail number, I'll leave that out. This flag represents our dedication and steadfast devotion to defending the principles of the United States of America, demonstrated daily by airmen who serve our country with honor and pride. I want to thank you, Neshaminy High School, and the students that had submitted the care packages to us.
Thank you.
So, the certificate.
Mr. Staub will be coming on in just a moment, but before we go any further, there is one individual that I need to thank, and she is the woman that puts this together. She's the one that reached out to you with emails, calling down to the office, phone calls, and just making it all work, and that's Miss Trish Murray. I want to thank her. And finally, this is his first one. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ryan Staub, Neshaminy High School Principal.
Thank you, and thanks, Max, for putting this together. I have to tell you, I'm new to Neshaminy this year. It's my first year as principal, and I have not seen anything like this in my 17 years in education. This is truly a special event. I'm really taken back by all of it. But in closing, and on behalf of the Neshaminy School District, I would like to thank all of our guests in attendance, our speakers, but more importantly, our most distinguished guests, our students who have chosen the path of service to our country. Kobe, Sean, Anthony, Zachary, Ida, thank you. As I thought about what I wanted to say today, this one quote by Dwight Eisenhower kept standing out to me. And it said, "The supreme quality for leadership is unquestionably integrity. Without it, no real success is possible, no matter whether it is on a section gang, a football field, in an army, or in an office. And it is without question that the 5 of you have the integrity and strong moral character to change the world and improve the lives of others. As you begin this journey of service, please know how proud we are of you. Your courage and bravery is inspirational to all of us, and your country is truly a better place because of the choices and sacrifices that you have chosen. We live in the best country in the world. The United States of America is a place where people are free and democracy rules the land. This freedom is because of brave men and women like you, and we will pray for you every step of the way. Once again, on behalf of Neshaminy, thank you. This closes our event for the day. Thanks again.